So, Godzilla 2014. Is it a good movie? No. Is it that bad? Well, no, it's okay, you know. But the problem was when I came out of the cinema, I felt disappointed. I felt like it was a C movie. If you give it a grade, probably it felt like a C movie. But after having a few days, some time to think about it, it's it's fair to say it's a B movie. The reason that it felt worse than it was when it finished was because the first third of the movie was actually the best part. Was going really well actually, and then from that point on, it just started getting kind of, well, it's got worse and worse basically, and then that scene at the end is just had me walking out of the cinema all depressed. It felt like a missed opportunity. Now, most people that hated this movie, their main complaint seems to be that there wasn't enough Godzilla, basically. And that's a fair complaint to make, but for me, I didn't really notice that at all. Maybe that's because the trailer had me expecting a different kind of movie. I've seen both Pacific Rim and Cloverfield, and I enjoy both those movies more than Godzilla. Pacific Rim, just all out action, robot beating up monsters, and the trailer showed that. That's what you expect, and that's what you got. You go in, the characters in that just can't act. Well, you can't really blame them considering the kind of scripts they got. The dialogue was just it's so bad. You just had to laugh most of the time, and just the things they were doing just doesn't make any sense. But who cares? Just watching pretty graphics of robot beating up monsters. It's just like watching an anime, and that's what you expected going in, and that's what you got. It just delivered what you were expecting. Now, Cloverfield. Now this is another different type of movie, a completely different type of movie. You hardly saw the monsters. You saw it even less than in Godzilla, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed much more. That film was about the atmosphere, the character just fighting to survive in a city being attacked by these unknown monster, and just felt really real and quite scary, to be honest. So I enjoy both types of movie. But with Godzilla, it felt like it was in the middle. It was neither Pacific Rim or Cloverfield, and it was just worse than both. It had both elements in it, but it didn't do it as well as either of those films. If you were looking for action, Pacific Rim is actually better, and it has more action. So I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I admit, okay, Godzilla had better graphics, no doubt. The Godzilla textures and everything looked really realistic. But in the end, the fights in Pacific Rim were just so much cooler. Because Godzilla in the end, he just like a T-Rex with short arms. He's fighting with these mutos or whatever they're called. Looks like flying grasshoppers to me. So they have wings and no arms, so their actions are pretty limited. And you just end up having these flying grasshoppers just flying around Godzilla, and he's just going, oh, it's just not much action. You can't do really any kung fu moves or any choreographed fights. It just doesn't feel as cool. Whereas in Pacific Rim, it's like, okay, this guy's got 3 arms just slashing another kaiju's coming from behind. You do a bear hug, the guy just smashes it down with his fist. So in the end, it's just more fun. Even though the CGI in that is not as realistic, it looks kind of a bit cartoony, but it doesn't matter. It looks good enough to be fun. So without a lot of action, what the movie has to rely on is the plot and the characters, which is, actually the first third, the build-up, the tone of the seriousness of the movie was going so well. And that's what I was expecting, because looking from the trailer, what they were selling was like, these new movies, the dark tone, what's really popular nowadays, like the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight. You know, in the trailer, Inception, it even has that annoying French horn like blaring every 2 seconds. So you were expecting like a movie more about plots and dark, like really gritty atmosphere. And for the first third, when Michael Cranston was still alive, it was it was going well. And they're setting up the movie, his wife dying in the first 5 minutes, him becoming obsessed, causing friction in relationship with his son. And you would thought there was going to be a payoff at the end of the film. He was going to pursue Godzilla, find some discovery that helps prevent the monster attack. But no, after 40 minutes, he just like, oh, okay, I'm going to die now. And then his torment doesn't transfer over to his son at all. The son was like, okay, Dad, yeah, you're right after all. My mother was killed by a monster. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Now I'm just gonna go home, and yeah, bye. And I was like, what the hell? I mean, surely in a movie of this budget, you can't afford Michael Cranston. I mean, if you can't afford to pay him, just cut out one of the useless, pointless CGI scene and just, pay him for the rest of the movie, for God's sake. I mean, now we've got nothing. We're just watching this army kid who's got nowhere near the presence to carry the movie. And then, okay, yeah, and you got Ken Watanabe. He's got great presence, and what do? You waste him. In the whole movie, he's supposed to be some, important scientist. Again, he could have discovered something, but no, the entire movie just consists of his secretary running over, and like ushering him over. They come over, meet, and they start whispering, and then that's all they do. They never actually come up with anything. They never discover anything. All they found was like his Michael Cranston's old beta disc with like sound recording of the monsters talking. And from just that one piece of evidence, Ken Watanabe somehow managed to come up with a complete theory of what's going on. It's like, oh yeah, Godzilla is our savior. Yep. I don't know how he came to that conclusion, but yeah, he's right. Okay, Godzilla's gonna save us. Let them fight. Godzilla will win. How the hell does he know that? I mean, for all we know, Godzilla could have just annihilate the whole city afterward. After he eats Grasshopper's head, and like Godzilla's gonna restore the balance. I mean, what? I was like, surely if he's nature's way of restoring balance, then the species which have been polluting the earth, kind of tipping the balance, destroying the earth, are humans. So surely if he was restoring the balance, what he is supposed to do is to annihilate humans. So, so with that conclusion, I'm not sure how he thought, Godzilla's gonna come over, kill these two Mutos, and then just go back down into the sea and, doesn't do anything else. And yeah, so, and after Michael Cranston dies, the movie just keep throwing cliches after cliches at you, that scene with the anonymous little girl, you see her at the party next to the beach, and then as soon as the camera panned to her, I was like, oh god, we're not gonna have this anonymous little girl running away from the disaster again, please, Jesus. And then, oh no, that's not all we've got for you. Yeah, we're gonna throw in a dog as well. Yeah, because they've never done that before, Just like, yeah, we've all seen ID4, yeah, Independence Day. We've seen it already, thanks. you don't need to show us again. And then sure enough, yep, the dog survives. He runs away from the waves and, just managed to escape when other people die. Great. But no, that's just in case you missed it. We're just going to add another little boy. Yep, and another cliche scene. I mean, little boy getting lost, separated from his parents, and then the hero has to take care of him, and then that scene, oh, yeah, if you're brave and don't cry, I'm gonna give you this little toy, because you've never seen that scene before, in much better film, like, oh, The Happening. Yeah, all great films have this scene. You want to see my mood ring? It's about to turn yellow. That means you're about to laugh, little girl. Oh yeah, and then the girlfriend stroke wife. That is a nurse. Yep. Got to have the obligatory cut to the scene where the girlfriend or the wife is healing people in the hospital. Oh, we haven't got enough blood here. Get him to the OR immediately. Stat. Then talking this, saving that person, saving this person. It's just, oh God, please, stop torturing me. We started off as Inception, and now we're 2012 or the day after tomorrow. And then, as if cliche scenes was not enough, they started throwing bad plot after bad plot at us. I mean, apparently, Army Boy here is the only guy who knows how to dispose of bombs in the army. He's the only one, apparently. Yep. And not only that, he's an expert in nukes. Yeah, because those IEDs, those terrorists nowadays, they're using nukes as IEDs. You got to be able to, disarm them. Not only that, but an expert in retrofitting them as well for some reason. He doesn't seem to be high up the rank, to be honest, but somehow he has completely specific, detailed knowledge in how to manipulate nuclear bombs and retrofitting them. Yep. And another thing which I don't understand is, okay, when he accidentally found a train with a company that's in charge of retrofitting the nukes and taking it to the monsters, okay, when he accidentally found them, why is it that he's the one who ends up retrofitting the nukes? Surely if that squad was supposed to retrofit the nuke anyway, they must have a guy who knows how to retrofit it, right? So, why wouldn't they follow the original plan and just get the original guy to retrofit the nukes instead of some random army dude that just happened to turn up at a train station and started saying, yeah, well, I'm an expert in nukes, just take my word for it. I haven't got any credentials or anything on me, not even a name tag, but yep, I can do it. It's like, oh, okay then, yeah, you look good, yeah, better than the guy I've got. Yeah, you do it. It's like, what? And then later on, when all the plans went to hell and the monster have the nukes in the middle of the city, and then they have to send in the company to disarm the bomb. Guess who they call to? Yeah, I retrofitted it myself. I can disarm it in 60 seconds. You can just send in one bomb disposal expert. What happened if he doesn't make the jump? What happens if he dies? Don't you want to send in maybe a couple of spares on a mission of this magnitude? Just send in one bomb disposal expert. Okay, yeah, that's just me being cautious. No, yeah, you're right. He probably makes it. Yep. And then, that it leads to that one scene, which is actually visually very cool. Them Halo jumping out of the aeroplane, and then you see the red trail. Although I'm sure and I'm not sure why they would strap red smoke signals at the ankle. But it looks great. But I'm sure when I was watching, I was like, yeah, the scenes look cool, and yep, the red smoke is probably totally unnecessary, but it looks cool. So yeah, I'll forgive them for that. But anyway, on this mission, before the mission, they were building it up as if okay, either you complete this mission or you're gonna die trying. If you don't disarm the nukes, you're gonna have to walk out there, which basically, well, plan B doesn't exist. Basically, you either disarm it or you die. So they were even joking about, like, yeah, plan B is like us carrying the nukes out and then put it in some boat and just driving off, as a joke. Well, at the time I thought it was a joke, but Jesus, apparently, these the plan's as bad as the plot, and it works for some reason. And the thing is, when they got to the nukes, they tried to open the cover, and it was like slightly jammed, and then immediately, they're like, oh, we haven't got time for this. We got to go to plan B. It's like, what the? The guy says he can disarm the nukes in 60 seconds. And there's like 24 minutes left, I think, on the clock. And I mean, aren't you gonna at least try? Maybe a crowbar, an M16 hit with the butt of the gun to the cover. No, it's like immediate. He opens the cover, it's like slightly jammed. Nope, okay, plan B, screw this. We're just gonna carry the nuke and put it in a little dinghy and sail off. so, and then when somehow the plan actually works, like he got into this little dinghy, well, not dinghy, but this little boat that doesn't, it's not even speedboat, with like 5 minutes left on the nuclear clock. And he start driving off at like at like the pace of like a turtle swimming. Well, actually, that's probably too fast. More like me swimming, which is about 10 kilometers per hour, and and somehow he managed to get the nukes away from the city in time without causing any damage by driving for 5 minutes in this super slow boat. And not only that, somehow some chopper out of nowhere came and rescued him. It's like, what? Would that really be your primary concern? You got like a live nuke going off in the middle of the city in 5 minutes. I mean, the thing I was expecting was maybe they were gonna take nukes up in the chopper and fly off as quickly as possible in like in Batman style suicide mission just to save the city. But no, they just, oh yeah, we just rescue him. Just leave the nukes on the little dinghy. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, it just sail along, and and it just and it just works. What? I just don't understand. And then that cheesy scene as well, when they're trying to compare the two savior of the city with Godzilla after he defeated the Mutos, and the army dude after he safely got the bomb on the boat. With them, Godzilla like falling, just like passing out from tiredness or something, falling down at the same time as Mr. Johnson here. They're just falling down at the same time, like the two savior of the city. And then the worst scene of all, at the end, the next day, when Godzilla wakes up and this just kind of caps it all off. The crowd, the people around him, start cheering. What the hell? That's just the most irrational reaction ever. I mean, oh my god. If you were calling the 1998 Godzilla movie cheesy, after this scene, this movie has no right calling any other movie cheesy. I mean, at which point did the people suddenly realize, oh yeah, Godzilla is our savior? As far as they're concerned, it's just another rampaging monster that just came in at the same time as the two other Mutos and start tearing up the city. They were like running away from him a few hours ago, and then suddenly, Godzilla gets up. Everyone immediately realize, for the plot's sake, that Godzilla's the savior and start cheering him. I mean, geez, I could have accepted if like the crowd kind of was just like silent, apprehensively, like, oh, what is he gonna do next? And then he walks off and then just jumps into the sea and swims away, and then everyone's like relieved. I mean, I could have accepted that, but for everyone to just start cheering straight away, and then on the news caption, it's like, Godzilla, savior of our city. It's like, what the? I mean, oh man, you started off as Inception, and now you're like cheesier than Independence Day, which, by the way, I actually enjoyed Independence Day. I mean, if you're gonna do a movie like that, just go for it. I mean, if you're gonna go for a darker tone, Dark Knight tone, then go for it. Just don't. I mean, are you confused? Which direction you want to go in? But and one thing I'm also confused about is you have these high-tech billion-dollar jets falling left and right, just dropping off like flies from the EMP, from the Mutos, but somehow, yep, always there is the news chopper, so that we don't miss a single scene of Godzilla fighting the Mutos on the news. Yep. I mean, the army better go talk to these people. I mean, they've got some interesting technology, anti-EMP advanced stuff going on here. Got to give it to the paparazzi. So anyway, that's it. That's my rant. And yeah, as I said earlier, Godzilla is not a bad movie by any means. I mean, it's not the worst movie. You know, I mean, I don't feel like I'm wasting my money going to see it in the cinema, but certainly it's not the best movie either. And I felt like it really was a missed opportunity. I was expecting more. But well, that's it, guys. So after this rant, feel free to leave the hate mail or hate comment beneath. I'm sure I'm gonna receive plenty, but well, actually, no one's gonna see this video, so I probably don't. I won't get any. So, but anyway, yep. So that's my thought. Well, bye.